It's time to update the rankings. Grab the board. Grab the board, Zoe. This is a very important job you have here. Grab the board. Update the rankings of how close each team is in town to winning a championship. It's time for the Boston Sports Championship Big Board. Hasn't been updated in a while. We know which team is number one, and it's not even close. The Boston Celtics are erect on the board there, is what I would say.
They went to Northeast Men's Health.
There you go.
They got a boost.
Yeah.
They are boosted. Yep. They are as high on the chart as you can go.
Dell took care of them. He sure did. Coat rack. Yeah.
So the Celtics are number one.
Yeah, by far.
Now the debate begins. After the Celtics, which team in town is nearest to a title?
Well, there's people that thought that the Red Sox were a decent team before they even added what they added this offseason. So the adding of Crochet, they still need help in the bullpen, right? I know Chapman's going to be your closer. But the addition of Bregman and potentially Devers accepting his role now, I think the Red Sox are the next closest team to winning a championship. That's my opinion.
I would agree with you.
Okay. Because it's baseball. And if you have good pitching, you have a good lineup, you're good. I think they have a good manager.
Well, compare the Red Sox roster and manager, if you want to include manager, feel free, to the other teams that we are now talking about, the Patriots and the Bruins. Their roster is significantly better. Significantly better than what either one of those other teams can talk about.
Yeah.
It's the Red Sox number two.
You saw what happened to the Bruins lately, right?
And McCone has a hard time believing it, but
I do too.
the Red Sox, I think, have a good. Okay, how do you one word? How do you describe the Red Sox playoff chances going into 2025?
Solid.
Good, I would say.
Above solid.
Chances to make the playoffs?
Yeah, just describe it.
Maybe.
We're talking about championship,
If everything goes well.
I would say they're a playoff team. With the Yankees situation, yeah, and what they've added, I think they're a playoff team.
Yes.
Right now, I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I believe they're a playoff team. You believe they're a playoff.
Yeah.
We all believe they're a playoff team?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so we believe they're a playoff team. And there's not even a debate. It's unanimous. 5-0.
There's a debate.
No,
there's no
not in
debate
this
about the
room.
playoffs.
One guy.
Not in this room.
Yeah,
5-0.
American League.
5-0. We think they're a playoff team.
What's the board's,
When do we unanimously agree on things? Not often.
No.
We agree on this. We think they're a playoff team.
what's the board
I
say,
don't
though?
think it's a slam dunk.
Do you think the Patriots... All right, let me ask another question. Do we think the Patriots are a playoff team? Yes or no? I say no.
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 Milligan's like, no, definitely not.
Do I
Screw
think they're
that
a
team.
4-win team? Yes, maybe.
Do you think the Bruins are a playoff team this year? No.
No, I mean, but they can get
Do you
in.
know what the Bruins will even be next season?
No.
No. I have no idea.
So that's
whether
why I have
we
the
should.
Patriots above them, because at least I think they're going to be trending up.
All right, so we all agree the Red Sox are second, and I don't know why people.
We don't.
We don't agree.
We don't.
Who do you think is closer?
The Patriots.
Oh my God, this is absurd.
You smoke crack, sir.
What does the board say? It doesn't say Boston Sports playoff.
I am Mr. Patriot.
Well, let me explain how championships work in all of these sports.
Okay.
The first step is you got to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the first step. If you can't make the playoffs, you have zero chance of championship. If you do make the playoffs, even as the last team in, you have a chance at championship. So explain to me that logic, McBone, how you have a team that will not make the playoffs being closer to the title than the Red Sox.
Because the Red Sox aren't going to win the World Series this year. They're going to be a playoff team.
They
and
also
then
haven't done anything yet.
moving forward, long term, in terms of getting to the championship, I think the Patriots have the key ingredients to win a championship. So another offseason, fast forward another offseason,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be in the mix.
I've
Super
got
Bowl
another
contenders.
point for you. Which team has better young talent? The Patriots with the key element of Drake May, or the Boston Red Sox with all of the prospects that are currently in the pipeline and nearing their major league debuts?
I think it's weighted towards the Patriots because it's so important to have Drake May.
Nope, it's the Red Sox. You know why? Because those
That's all they
guys
talk about.
will be able to fill out a lineup that will be able to win a title in the next 2 or 3 years. If they all pan out. If
they pan out. Yes.
Drake May hasn't panned out yet. He's 1-9.
We've seen him, though, at the NFL level. The talent is there.
I mean,
But the pathway matters too, doesn't it?
Yes.
You don't have Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson standing in front of you. We sit here talking about the American League sucking constantly. That's the whole conversation we've been having the last couple weeks.
You've been bolstered because the other teams
I'd rather get to the World Series than not make it there.
What a terrible roster.
He's right.
That's not winning. That's not
It's
winning.
getting
No,
closer.
he's right. Your
Who's
AFC
closer, McCone? Who's
It's a
closer?
tough road in the AFC because of the quarterbacks. Yankees are having issues. Everybody's moving down. You're moving up.
just explain to me how they get there, the Patriots, and win it anytime soon. I can envision the Red Sox doing it.
All right.
I can see it.
Ready?
I can envision it. I can describe how it happens with the guys currently in the organization. I cannot do it for the Patriots.
I'll describe it to you right now. Do they have a Super Bowl caliber defense coming into this year? A defense that's capable of winning a Super Bowl?
On
No.
paper,
A Super Bowl caliber.
They have a
Super
top
Bowl
5
caliber
defense. They have a top 5 defense on paper if they have Barmore.
Yes. Agreed.
You can't win a Super Bowl by just playing.
I'm
good
not just
defense.
talking about
I
that.
didn't
I'm
say
talking
Super Bowl. I
about
said they
a
have a top
defense
5
that's
defense.
capable of getting you to a Super, like being
No.
in contention.
So you're talking about the defense that
contender's
Denver
defense.
had.
No.
So
You
you're
have a
talking about the
contender's
year
defense.
Manning
No,
had when they had Denver's defense, and it was a bums kid, Wade Phillips, that ran that defense when they won it. They won that with defense.
You're not advancing in the playoffs with this Patriot just because you
No,
have
no,
this
no,
Patriots
not because
defense.
of the defense.
What are we describing then?
A defense that you can go to a Super Bowl with. It's not going to prevent them from going to a Super Bowl.
That is true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a coaching staff in place right now that you think you can win a Super Bowl with?
I think so. I don't know that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Yes, I think you do.
Offensive coordinator, head coach, I have faith in both of those guys. I think you have a
You got
potential
grown men in the room.
top 5 quarterback in Drake May 2 years from now. Let's say you get Will Campbell and you can play left tackle with the 4th overall pick. That means going into next year, next offseason, all you have to do is find get me 2 receivers, and you're there. You're there. You're in the mix.
2 really good receivers. Really, really good.
Now for the Red Sox.
Oh, that's you guys make that sound so easy. Oh,
It should be. Look at what the Commanders are doing.
I mean,
he's crazy.
so let me ask you another question. Do you have a Super Bowl worthy front office down in Foxborough?
that's to be determined.
Oh, I think I know the answer. I think the answer there is no.
Well, it took you 12 minutes to get there today, right?
I know. Thank you. Well, not
I'm going
even
to start the
8.
show for 8 minutes.
That's okay.
That's already-
all right. So that's going to be a
Minus
question
the
mark.
one of Zoe commenting on your sweatshirt. So 7
Sorry about
minutes.
that.
All right. So let me ask you from a Red Sox perspective here. Do you think they're capable of winning a World Series this year?
No.
No, but I don't think there are very many teams in their sport that are.
That wasn't the question. The question was which
Close.
one is the closest?
I didn't say, who's the closest to doing it?
Closest
to
is
getting
getting in
to
the
a
game.
championship.
Closest is getting in the game. Whether it's the NBA
No, no, no.
If
Finals.
you're
Closest
talking about
is
getting
winning
closer,
it.
we're talking about winning a
We are
championship.
talking about winning it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what the big board's all about.
Not
So-
the postseason.
My order is Celtics, it is Red Sox, and we still haven't determined the last 2.
Patriots
Is
Bruins.
there
stop it.
I think-
debate?
I
Okay.
think- I think Bruins are number 2.
You're insane.
We'll hear why. We're going to hear why you think the Bruins are
You
number 2.
two crack smokers.
I think you're giving them some credit based on the structure of their sport and the ability to turn things around more quickly than in other sports. They're not looking for 2 receivers and a left tackle. They might be able to turn things around quicker. Tom wanted Tim McCone to know that Kraft has to pay for a lighthouse, the ice rink, and probably more free parking at Patriots games before we even think about getting 2 receivers. I would like to add in airplanes and catering and daycare
Towels.
and towels. White ones. White towels so they can be bleached. That's in the suggestion box from Zoe. That's Zoe's suggestion for the team.
John Henry signs Alex Bregman, and all of a sudden we forget. Big spender over there.
No.
Yeah.
Henry cheaped out, too. He's been cheaping out on the team since Mookie Betts was moved, without a doubt. But that plan that they had to draft and develop, and let the pipeline, develop. Well, yeah, we've suffered for years now, but finally there's a payoff coming. And it's all the guys that are in the, in that sort of area of almost in the majors, going to be making their debuts soon.
Number 1 farm system in baseball, according to Baseball America.
Number one.
Number one.
We're number 1, and they can either use that to make deals to bring veteran players here. They can let them develop and become quality players on their own, and they've got a core that they're trying to build. So I've got them number 2. You don't.
I don't.
You've got the Patriots number 2.
Pat's number 2.
Do you have the Red Sox 3?
Red Sox 3, Bruins 4th.
Okay,
And a
T-Bone
distant 4th.
believes the Bruins could be second on this list. Why?
And I don't think that's that crazy to say. Just for the simple fact that who has a mix of players that have sniffed the top of the league after the Celtics? The top of the standings and the top,
In terms of
they
being
President's
there?
Trophy like 2 years ago, and a lot of those guys were on this
That did a
team.
lot for him.
Okay, but they were
Got them in the mix.
very much a contender. That team losing should be the proof that as long as you're in the tournament, you've got a shot in the NHL, which we all believe.
And then I think you can't convince me that for sure Jeremy Swayman's not going to have a bounce back year. You can't convince me for sure that their free agent pickups aren't going to settle in and be better next year. And you can't convince me for sure that they're not going to make a top six acquisition in free agency.
I think there's a real desire on the part of ownership with the Bruins. And by the way, we'll get to what KPD wrote about ownership of the Bruins a little later on. But I don't believe the Bruins like being on the outside of the playoffs. I think we all talk about that, right? And it's used as a criticism of ownership that, they need to get their home playoff dates, right? That's a long time criticism of the Bruins. Yeah, well, they want to be in the playoffs, so you have to admit that. They hate not being in the playoffs, so they want to make moves to put their team right back in the playoffs next year,
And I think
which gives them a shot.
the last 2 times they've made coaching changes, which they will do again this year, they haven't had a dead cat bounce. They've had a live cat bounce.
Well, I'm putting the Bruins third on my
Yeah,
list.
break out the tiger.
You're putting the Bruins 3rd?
They're closer to the playoffs than the Patriots.
Okay, but it's winning a
I don't think that's a
championship. It's winning a championship.
I don't
it's not
think it's
getting
a
to the
debate.
postseason.
Yeah, well, I like to take logical, chronological sort of steps, like make the playoffs, then that would give you a shot at a championship. And I really don't think that the Patriots are close. Like, I just don't. I think the Bruins could find a way to be closer much faster.
I can't believe this isn't a debate of just 2 and 3.
Yeah.
This is.
I don't.
I
think
thought
it's
he was
close.
just
I think
being
it's
straw man. He really believes
He
this.
does.
Patriots.
Yes, because you guys are talking about the postseason as if that's what that. Look, you can get to the postseason and not be a contender. You
No,
got
we're
to look
talking about getting into the tournament.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you're actually close to winning a championship. What you're looking for here are ingredients that are going to get you to a championship. And say what you will about how dysfunctional the Patriots have been, I think they actually have the ingredients to win a championship on the roster. You have an elite quarterback, at least the talent to be an elite quarterback, and a competent head coach, and a defense that's already ready to win now.
I think going back to Zoe's analogy yesterday, I think they got guys' grocery games here. They don't have the butter. They don't have the sugar. They have some of the ingredients.
Those should be easy ingredients to pick up. They're not going to win it this year.
Have you seen the price of eggs?
They're not going to win it
Can't
this
tell you
year.
last time I ate an egg.
It's like picking up a tackle.
I don't even have eggs. I don't eat eggs anymore. It's weird. Speaking of guys' grocery games, you can make dinner. Like, we didn't have anything for dinner last week. Olive oil, garlic, basil, pepper, and some noodles. It was fantastic. No
Nice.
Parmesan on top. Stuff you have in your closet.
Figuring things out.
Made it work.
How many wins do you think the Patriots are going to have this year?
7.
Same.
7?
7, 8.
And you have a big offseason coming after that. You actually
Not
get
getting
Drake
in.
May some weapons. Is that big of a leap in year 3?
It's a great
Second year under Josh McDaniels?
expectations
to be in
through the roof
contention?
after that. You win 7 or 8 games. Expectations are going to be huge next year.
McCone, they've come up empty-handed on those weapons 2 straight off seasons in a row now.
I understand that.
So why would you give them that credit?
If you
I don't
can
know why you would do
fill a hole and hit on some of these draft picks this year, which again,
Travis Hunter could fall to you, and he could be fantastic.
doesn't that change things? Yes, it does.
I think they're the only one that you're asking to do things that you haven't seen them do before.
that. Yeah. Exactly.
You could do that when you have the
I
quarterback.
think you're way too high
I
on
think
the
you
Bruins.
could do that when you have the quarterback.
What do you
can
mean?
ask
Do
him.
what with the quarterback?
If you know you got the quarterback, you could start looking at other things falling in place. Like, you'd see the defense is coming. Offensive line is starting to come together a little bit. Still need that left tackle.
Yeah, they just haven't addressed the biggest need on the offensive line, and they haven't addressed the biggest need on the team, which is receiver.
We talked about it yesterday.
0 for 2.
They're not weaponizing the rookie contract for the
2.
quarterback.
True.
No, they're not.
They're botching that.
The clock is ticking, and they don't seem to really prioritize the things they really need the most.
Once they find that receiver that doesn't have an ego.
Hold on. Sorry. I got a timeout. Credit for Chris Godwin. Lots of credit. Good job, guys. Good job. Sorry, Tim. You were saying?
Once they find that number one receiver that doesn't have an ego, we're going to be off and running. You know?
Oh, yeah, that's part of the thing.
Just check that off the box.
You can't get a receiver who wants the ball. So it's made the job a little tougher for them. You know, they got to find the guy who is happy not getting the ball. Cool.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.